You see, in life, the real test is whether you run after people's attention or you build yourself in a way that people respect you. Attention is temporary. Today you get it, tomorrow it is gone. On social media, one like, one comment, one click, and you think you've achieved something. But respect is different. Respect is earned through character, through honesty, through the value you create in the lives of others. When you walk into a room and people fall silent, not because you demanded it, but because your presence carries weight, that is respect. Attention can be bought, but respect can only be commanded. And the one who commands respect never has to beg for recognition. Attention is one of the most fragile things in today's world. Everywhere we look, people are running after it, craving it, and doing everything in their power to capture even a few seconds of it. Social media has turned attention into a currency, and many have mistaken this currency for success. But the truth is, attention fades, it slips away, and it is never permanent. A person may be in the spotlight today, yet completely forgotten tomorrow. The applause that feels so loud in one moment often turns into silence in the next. What truly matters is not the temporary noise of attention, but the quiet strength of respect. Respect does not vanish when the trend ends or when the crowd moves on, because respect is not borrowed from people's distractions. It is built on your values, your character, and your actions. When someone chases attention, they begin to compromise. They do what others expect just to stay visible, even if it means going against their own principles. They sacrifice authenticity for approval, thinking that attention will bring them significance. But this path always leads to emptiness, because you can never hold on to people's attention for long. Respect, however, is built slowly, piece by piece, with consistency and integrity. It is not given lightly, and it is not taken back easily. Once someone respects you, it means they trust you, they believe in you, and they see you as a person of substance, not just a performer of trends. The difference between attention and respect can be seen in the lives of great leaders, thinkers, and doers. Attention belongs to celebrities who come and go, who are talked about only as long as they remain in the spotlight. Respect belongs to those who stand firm on principles, who dedicate themselves to causes larger than their own image, who stay true even when it is difficult. Attention is loud and fleeting. Respect is silent and lasting. One makes you popular for a moment, the other makes you remembered for a lifetime. To focus on respect means to shift your mindset. Instead of asking, "How can I be noticed?" you begin to ask, "How can I add value?" When you bring value to people's lives, when you act with integrity, when you choose honesty over easy gains, respect naturally follows. People may not clap every time, but they will carry your name in their hearts. They may not always show it outwardly, but deep inside they know that you are someone worth listening to, worth trusting, and worth following. That is the true measure of influence. Respect also builds confidence in a way attention never can. Attention makes you insecure because you constantly fear losing it. You keep asking, am I still relevant? Are people still looking at me? Respect frees you from this insecurity. It gives you the strength to stand tall, knowing that your value is not dependent on constant approval. It allows you to walk into any room with dignity, knowing that people recognize your worth without you having to shout for it. Those who chase attention often burn out because the chase never ends. But those who focus on respect create a legacy. They become role models, not just entertainers. They inspire action, not just reactions. Their words carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are backed by character. And in the end, while attention fades like a shadow in the evening, respect remains like the foundation of a strong building, standing firm through every storm and every season. Respect is something that cannot be demanded. It has to be earned through consistent actions, integrity, and the way you treat others. Many people mistakenly believe that they can force respect by showing authority, by using power, or by trying to intimidate those around them. But what they gain in such situations is not respect. It is fear, and fear never lasts. True respect comes from the heart, and it cannot be manufactured through force. It is built when people see your sincerity, your commitment, and your ability to live by the values you speak about. When words and actions align, when your promises match your behavior, respect begins to grow naturally. The process of earning respect is not quick, and it is not easy. It requires patience because respect is something people observe over time. They look at how you behave not just in moments of success, but also in moments of failure. They notice how you treat those who are weaker, how you handle criticism, and how you carry yourself when no one is watching. Every small action becomes a reflection of your character, and slowly those actions shape the perception others have of you. Demanding respect might give you obedience for a short while, but earning it gives you loyalty that can last a lifetime. To earn respect, humility is one of the most important qualities. People are naturally drawn to those who remain grounded even when they achieve great things. Arrogance pushes others away, while humility pulls them closer. When you are humble, people feel safe around you. They feel heard, and they recognize that you value them. Respect is not about putting yourself above others. It is about uplifting others while remaining true to yourself. In every relationship, whether personal, professional, or social, respect is the foundation that holds everything together. Without it, trust collapses, and without trust, no bond can survive. Consistency also plays a crucial role in earning respect. You cannot earn it by being honest one day and dishonest the next, by being reliable today and careless tomorrow. People respect stability. They respect someone they can count on, someone whose behavior does not change with circumstances. A person of principles may face difficulties, may even lose opportunities in the short run, but in the long run, their reputation becomes untouchable, and it is that reputation that commands respect more than any temporary display of attention. Another key factor in earning respect is contribution. The more you contribute to others' lives, the more valuable you become. Contribution does not always mean material things. It can be your knowledge, your guidance, your time, or your ability to listen. When people feel that you genuinely add value to them, respect becomes a natural response. Respect is rarely about what you demand from others. It is almost always about what you give to them. The more you give without expecting anything in return, the stronger the foundation of respect becomes. Respect also grows when you stand firm on your values, even when it is difficult. People admire those who do not compromise on their core beliefs just to please others. It is easy to go along with the crowd, to change your colors depending on the situation, but such behavior never earns deep respect. Respect comes when you have the courage to be authentic, to remain true to your principles, and to stand alone if necessary. Over time, even those who disagree with you will respect your conviction because they see strength in someone who does not bend under pressure. The reality is that respect cannot be bought, traded, or demanded like attention can. It is intangible, but it is powerful, and once earned, it builds a reputation that outlives you. It is the reason why people still honor great leaders, thinkers, and teachers long after they are gone. They did not chase applause. They built respect through their choices, and that respect became their legacy. Character is the true foundation of value, not noise or empty displays of attention. In a world where so many people are shouting to be heard, posting constantly to be seen, and creating drama just to stay relevant, it becomes easy to confuse visibility with value. But real value is never found in how loud someone can be. It is found in the depth of their character. A person of strong character does not need to make noise because their presence alone speaks louder than words. People may be entertained by noise for a while, but they are influenced and inspired by character for a lifetime. Character builds trust, and trust is what makes someone truly valuable. When you look at individuals who have made a lasting impact, you notice that their influence did not come from how many times they appeared in the spotlight, but from the principles they lived by. A person who is dependable, who stands by their word, who treats others with fairness, and who remains honest even in difficult circumstances automatically becomes valuable in the eyes of others. Noise may get attention quickly, but it fades just as fast. Character takes longer to build. But once it is established, it creates a kind of respect that no one can easily take away. The danger of chasing noise is that it often pushes people away from their true selves. In the desperation to be seen and heard, they compromise on authenticity. They exaggerate, they show off, and they create a version of themselves that is not real. This might bring temporary attention, but it never creates value. People eventually see through the noise and realize there is nothing substantial behind it. On the other hand, when you focus on character, you may not attract everyone immediately, but the people you do attract will stay because they recognize authenticity and value it. Character is tested not in moments of ease, but in moments of challenge. Anyone can look good when things are going well, but the true measure of a person comes when they face setbacks, criticism, or failure. If they remain patient, resilient, and fair even in hardship, they demonstrate strength of character. This strength earns the respect of others because people know that such an individual can be trusted not only in times of celebration, but also in times of crisis. Noise disappears in the face of adversity, but character grows stronger. Another reason character creates value is because it inspires others. People naturally look up to those who live with integrity because it gives them courage to do the same. When someone consistently demonstrates honesty, kindness, and responsibility, they become a role model, whether they intend to or not. Their example becomes a silent lesson to everyone around them. That is how character extends beyond the individual. It shapes communities, teams, and even generations. Noise might make people laugh or clap for a moment, but character makes them reflect, learn, and grow. Character also builds stability in relationships. Whether it is in friendships, families, or professional settings, people want to connect with those they can trust. Trust does not come from noise. It comes from the quiet assurance that someone will stand by their values. This is why character is such a powerful force. It builds bonds that are hard to break. A relationship based on noise is shallow, but a relationship built on character can withstand time, distance, and trials. Ultimately, it is character that determines the true weight of a person's presence. The world remembers individuals who had strong principles, not those who just made the most noise. No matter how much attention someone might capture, if their character is weak, their influence disappears the moment they are no longer in sight. But if their character is strong, their value continues to grow even when they are absent. Character is the anchor that keeps respect alive, and respect is what makes a person truly valuable. Exclusivity is one of the most powerful elements that increase a person's worth, because when something is easily available everywhere, it loses its value. Human nature naturally craves what is rare, what is difficult to access, and what is not offered to everyone without distinction. This principle applies to material things, to opportunities, and most importantly, to people themselves. When you make yourself available to everything and everyone at all times, you dilute your own value. But when you become selective with your time, your presence, your energy, and your skills, people begin to notice the difference. They realize that when you give your attention, it carries weight, because you do not give it carelessly to everyone. Exclusivity does not mean arrogance or isolation. It means knowing your worth and protecting it. It means understanding that your time and energy are limited resources, and not every person or situation deserves to consume them. Many people lose respect because they fail to set boundaries. They say yes to everyone. They show up everywhere. And they spread themselves so thin that their presence loses significance. Exclusivity is about choosing carefully where you invest yourself, so that whenever you are present, people know it matters. Think about the difference between something common and something rare. Common things are taken for granted. They are noticed briefly and forgotten quickly. Rare things, however, are cherished, valued, and remembered. In the same way, when you become rare by being exclusive with your time and principles, people begin to value you differently. They recognize that your presence is not just another ordinary thing. It is something meaningful. This is why exclusivity creates respect, because people admire and appreciate what they cannot easily have access to. Another aspect of exclusivity is focus. When you are available to everything, you scatter your focus in too many directions, and as a result, your impact becomes weak. But when you are exclusive, you channel your focus into fewer areas with more depth, and this increases the quality of your contribution. People respect quality, not quantity. They may notice quantity for a while, but they remember quality forever. Exclusivity allows you to create value by focusing deeply rather than spreading yourself thin just to be seen everywhere. Exclusivity also strengthens your confidence. When you set boundaries and choose carefully how you engage with others, you stop depending on external validation. You no longer feel the need to chase every opportunity for attention, because you know that your worth does not come from being everywhere. It comes from being meaningful in the right places. This quiet confidence is what makes people respect you even more. They sense that you do not need their approval to define yourself, and that self-assurance makes you stand out in a world full of people trying to please everyone. Exclusivity has always been a mark of true leaders and influencers. They are not accessible to everyone at every moment, but when they do appear, when they do speak, when they do act, their impact is multiplied. People listen more carefully. They value the words more because they know it is not constant noise. It is something rare and worth attention. This is the same principle behind why the rarest voices often carry the most authority. It is not about how often you are seen. It is about how meaningful your presence becomes when you are. To live with exclusivity is to embrace discipline. It requires the strength to say no, to withdraw from distractions, and to resist the urge to be everywhere. It requires clarity about what matters most and the courage to protect your time and energy for those things. Over time, this lifestyle creates a reputation that elevates your value. People begin to respect not just what you do, but the way you manage yourself. Exclusivity, therefore, is not about distancing yourself from people. It is about making your presence rare enough to be valued, yet powerful enough to leave an impact wherever you are. Attention is often linked with popularity, but respect is what builds legacy. Many people confuse the two and spend their whole lives chasing the spotlight, thinking that the louder the applause, the greater their impact will be. But applause fades, crowds move on, and popularity is one of the most temporary illusions of success. It can make a person feel powerful for a moment, but once the lights go out, they realize that there is nothing left to hold on to. Respect, on the other hand, is what endures beyond the noise. It is what people carry in their hearts and memories long after the moment has passed. Legacy is not built on how many people noticed you. It is built on how many people respected you. When you look at the lives of those who truly left their mark on history, you see that they did not always have the loudest voices or the most dramatic presence. What they had was consistency in their values, strength in their character, and the courage to stand for what was right. They may not have been the most popular figures during their time, but they earned a respect that has kept their names alive long after they are gone. Respect becomes the foundation of legacy because it connects not just to the moment, but to the generations that follow. The danger of chasing popularity is that it forces people into constant performance. They start to live for applause, for attention, for validation, and in doing so they lose their authenticity. They change their words to please the crowd. They adjust their principles to remain relevant, and they build their entire identity on what others think of them. This creates a fragile existence because the same people who applaud today may criticize tomorrow. Popularity is never stable, and those who depend on it are always living in fear of losing it. Respect, however, provides stability. It does not depend on the shifting opinions of the crowd. but on the unchanging reality of character. Respect is also what inspires loyalty, and loyalty is what keeps influence alive beyond a single moment. People may follow someone who is popular, but they remain devoted to someone they respect. That devotion creates movements, communities, and ideas that last far longer than popularity ever could. Leaders who chase attention often disappear when their moment fades, but leaders who command respect continue to inspire even when they are no longer present. This is why respect becomes the seed of legacy, because it ensures that the influence of a person outlives their presence. Another important difference is that attention focuses on self, while respect focuses on contribution. People gain attention by putting themselves at the center, showing off, and demanding to be noticed. But people gain respect by giving, by serving, and by creating value in others' lives. The more you contribute to others, the more you are remembered, not for the noise you made, but for the difference you created. Contribution is what transforms respect into legacy, because the impact continues even when the individual is gone. Respect also has the power to cross boundaries that popularity cannot. Popularity is often limited by culture, trends, or platforms, but respect goes beyond those limits. A person respected for their courage, their honesty, or their vision is honored universally. Because these qualities are timeless, they are not bound by what is fashionable or trending. They are rooted in principles that every generation understands. That is why respect, unlike attention, carries the ability to create legacies that reach across time and space. In the end, the choice between attention and respect is the choice between temporary recognition and lasting influence. Those who chase attention may shine briefly, but they fade quickly. Those who earn respect may take longer to be noticed, but once they are, they remain a source of inspiration for years to come. Legacy is never built on applause alone. It is built on respect that continues to grow with time. Value is what makes a person unforgettable, because it goes beyond presence and appearances. Anyone can show up, anyone can be seen, but not everyone can create value that leaves a lasting mark on people's lives. When you think about those individuals who remain in your memory even after many years, you realize it is not their looks, their noise, or their popularity that makes them unforgettable. It is the value they brought to you, the lessons they taught, the inspiration they provided, or the impact they left behind. This is why value is so powerful, because it creates a connection that continues even when the person is no longer physically around. To become valuable means to dedicate yourself to growth, contribution, and authenticity. It means asking not, how can I be noticed, but how can I make a difference? When you shift from chasing recognition to creating value, your influence deepens. People may forget the words you said or the things you did to grab attention, but they will never forget how you made them feel, how you uplifted them, or how you changed something in their life. Value becomes part of their story, and that is what makes you unforgettable. The world is full of individuals who are visible but forgettable. They fill the space with noise, but the moment they leave, no one remembers what they said or did. On the other hand, someone who walks into a room with wisdom, authenticity, and integrity may not even speak loudly, but their presence remains in the minds of people long after they leave. That is the difference value creates. It does not compete for attention. It silently demands respect and builds remembrance. Another important aspect of value is depth. Noise and attention often stay at the surface, offering entertainment or distraction, but they rarely touch the heart. Value, however, goes deeper. It speaks to emotions, it shapes perspectives, and it changes behavior. When you provide value, you give something that people can carry forward in their lives. This creates a ripple effect where your influence spreads, not because you forced it, but because people naturally share and remember what benefited them. Value also creates trust, and trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection. People remember those they can trust because trust is rare and precious. If you consistently act with integrity, keep your promises, and align your actions with your words, you become a person others can rely on. That reliability itself is a form of value because it gives people a sense of stability in a world full of uncertainty. And when people find stability in you, they never forget you. The most valuable people are often those who are not trying to be valuable in the eyes of everyone, but those who dedicate themselves to a clear purpose. They focus on contributing meaningfully in their field, in their relationships, and in their communities. Their value grows naturally because they are not distracted by the chase for approval. Over time, their names become associated with trust, inspiration, and authenticity. They are remembered not because they were available to everyone all the time, but because the moments they gave were filled with meaning. Value also has a timeless quality. Popularity belongs to the moment, but value stretches across time. A valuable book, a valuable lesson, a valuable act of kindness, these things do not expire. They continue to influence, to teach, and to inspire long after the moment has passed. That is why value makes a person unforgettable, because it lives on in memories, in stories, and in the impact it leaves behind. A life dedicated to value is a life that echoes far beyond its years. When we reflect on everything discussed, one truth becomes clear: chasing attention is easy, but commanding respect is rare. Attention is cheap, and anyone can buy it with noise, appearances, or temporary tricks. But respect is priceless, and it can only be earned through character, value, and consistency. A person who chases attention becomes a prisoner of other people's opinions, constantly worrying about being seen, constantly asking whether they are still relevant. But a person who commands respect walks with dignity, because their worth does not come from the applause of the crowd. It comes from the strength of their principles. Every young person today must understand that the real game of life is not about becoming popular. It is about becoming valuable. Do not waste your energy trying to be everywhere, trying to impress everyone, or trying to win meaningless approval. Focus instead on building yourself, on developing character, on learning skills, on staying true to your word, on contributing to others. Because when you do this, you create a kind of respect that no one can take away. Respect does not fade with time. It only grows stronger. It becomes your legacy, the story people will tell about you long after you are gone. Look around at the world. Who are the people we still remember, admire, and quote? They are not the ones who scream the loudest for attention. They are the ones who lived with honesty, who stood firm on their values, who created value for others. Their names live on not because of how often they were seen, but because of how deeply they were respected. That is the power of respect. It makes you unforgettable. It turns your life into an example. It ensures that your influence outlasts your presence. So never chase attention, because it will always run faster than you. Instead, build yourself in such a way that respect comes to you naturally. Live a life of integrity, invest in growth, protect your energy, and focus on contribution. And when you do that, you will not have to ask for recognition, because respect will find you. You will not just be another person who was noticed for a moment. You will be someone remembered for a lifetime. That is the difference between being available and being valuable, between chasing attention and commanding respect, and between living a moment and building a legacy.